Welcome to the deep dive. Just a heads up, this analysis, which we're calling AI Daily Deep Dive, was actually researched and generated entirely using AI.
That's quite the meta start for today's discussion.
It is, isn't it? So, today, Thursday, April 17th, 2025, we're diving straight into the top 5 AI news stories hitting the wires.
Okay, what have we got?
We'll be looking at some pretty mind-blowing visual AI advancements, then AI's role in medicine, which one makes the best doctor.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah. Then some predictions from tech leaders, a story about the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire from AI, naturally.
Wow, okay.
And finally, maybe a more relatable question. Do you need to use AI to stay cool with your grandkids?
Huh, that's quite a range. From cutting-edge tech to family dynamics.
Exactly. Our mission, as always, is to pull out the key insights and figure out what these developments might actually mean for you.
Sounds good. It's definitely a snapshot of how broad AI's impact is becoming.
All right, let's jump right into story number 1. This is about OpenAI's ChatGPT getting a serious upgrade in its computer vision.
Right, this is the update powered by their O3 and O4 mini models. The reports suggest a big leap in multimodal capabilities.
Multimodal meaning it can handle different types of input, like images.
Exactly. It's not just seeing an image anymore. It's apparently analyzing, manipulating, rotating or zooming, and integrating that visual info into its reasoning process.
So it's kind of like that enhanced feature you see in sci-fi movies, but maybe more realistic.
Well, yeah, it's not magically adding pixels to a blurry photo. It can't increase the actual resolution.
Okay, gotcha.
But what it can supposedly do much better now is interpret those blurry details, figure out what objects are in the image, and use context to understand the whole scene.
They gave some demos, right? I heard about one with handwritten notes.
Yeah, that was pretty compelling. You upload a photo of a notebook page, maybe even upside down, and it apparently flips it, zooms in, and transcribes the handwriting pretty accurately.
Wow. The potential for students, researchers, and anyone dealing with paper notes, that seems huge.
Absolutely. Think about digitizing old documents, meeting notes.
Yeah.
It could save so much time. Or even, helping decipher historical texts that are hard to read.
Okay, what else? There was one about a distance sign.
Right. They showed us zooming in on a sign that was barely visible in a photo, processing the fuzziness.
And it could read it.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Identify the text. You can see how that might be useful for, say, security footage analysis or maybe historical photo research, even just figuring out where you are in a city.
Then there was the bus stop example. That seemed to tie different abilities together.
Exactly. It wasn't just looking at the bus stop image. It pulled text off the sign, translated it, I think,
Right.
and then used that info to search the web for the actual bus schedule.
So it's combining the seeing part with the doing part, like searching.
Precisely. That integration is a big step. Visual understanding plus information retrieval.
And the last one, recognizing filming locations. Sounds fun, if maybe a bit niche.
Huh. Yeah, maybe a party trick for film buffs. But it shows his knowledge base, right? Analyzing a cityscape through a window, identifying the city, then cross-referencing movie databases.
Okay, pretty impressive stuff. But it's not perfect, I assume?
No, definitely not. The sources are clear that the visual reasoning still has limitations. It can misinterpret things, struggle with really complex scenes.
So we shouldn't expect flawless performance just yet.
Right. Accuracy depends on the image quality, the task complexity. But it does raise questions, doesn't it? If it struggles here, how ready is it for things like, say, analyzing medical scans reliably?
That's a good point. So looking bigger picture, where could this enhanced computer vision lead?
Well, the potential applications are huge. Medical imaging analysis, as you mentioned, helping doctors spot things earlier. Security and surveillance, obviously.
Retail too, maybe, like finding a product from a photo.
Yeah, absolutely. And education. Research.
Yeah.
Analyzing visual data in science. The key takeaway is really this deeper integration of image analysis into AI's core reasoning. It's a significant shift.
Okay, let's move to our second story. This one dives into AI in healthcare. Dr. Mike Varshavski, Dr. Mike on YouTube.
Yeah.
He ran an experiment comparing Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Meta AI on medical knowledge, basically asking which AI would be the best doctor.
That's a bold experiment, comparing them head-to-head in such a critical field.
So one test involved ambiguity, a question about cervical cancer.
Ah, okay. Cervix versus cervical spine, presumably.
Exactly. How do they handle it?
Well, apparently all four of them just assumed cervical meant the cervix and listed symptoms for that type of cancer.
Without asking for clarification.
Nope. Which, highlights a key issue. A human doctor would almost certainly ask, which cervical are you referring to?
Yeah.
It shows AI still struggles with that kind of nuance.
Right, critical context. What about understanding weight loss? Calories versus insulin.
Okay, so on this one, Grok, Gemini, and ChatGPT apparently got it right. They identified caloric deficit as the main driver.
Calories are king, I think Grok said.
Yeah, something like that, with insulin as the knight. Decent analogy. But Meta AI apparently stumbled here.
How so?
It prioritized insulin control over calories, which Dr. Mike flagged as incorrect based on current science. It really shows how dependent these AIs are on their training data, flawed answers.
And they also tested countering misinformation, like, can a single herb cure cancer?
A really important test. Meta AI and Grok apparently gave strong, clear no's, emphasizing evidence-based medicine.
Good.
Gemini was concise and scientifically sound, too. ChatGPT's response was, well, weaker, according to Dr. Mike.
Weaker how?
It mentioned some herbs might have research-backed benefits while cautioning against replacing treatments. That ambiguity could be misleading,
Yeah, that sounds potentially risky. So did Dr. Mike actually rank them?
He did. Based on his tests, Grok came out on top. Then Gemini, then ChatGPT, and Meta AI was last.
Interesting. So what's the big takeaway about AI doctors?
Well, it seems like they show potential, especially for maybe providing information or assisting research.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not ready to replace human doctors.
Too many limitations still.
Yeah. Handling ambiguity, potential inaccuracies based on training data, lack of real critical thinking or personalized judgment. Human oversight is absolutely crucial. Reliability varies a lot between models, too.
So a tool, maybe, but not the decision maker.
Exactly. Supplement, not substitute, at least for now.
Okay, story number 3 shifts to the future. Predictions about AI and quantum computing from some big names. IBM, Qualcomm, Humane Intelligence.
Right. Leaders like Arvind Krishna, Cristiano Amon, and Roman Chowdhury sharing their visions.
What did Krishna from IBM focus on?
He talked a lot about AI boosting creativity by automating the boring stuff for artists and speeding up drug discovery in medicine. He also emphasized domain-specific AI.
But he also mentioned a problem: energy consumption.
Yeah, he pointed out how inefficient current AI can be, like text generators using way more power than a simple Google search.
And that's where quantum computing comes in.
That seems to be his big bet. He suggested quantum could make AI up to 99% more energy efficient.
Wow, 99%.
Yeah. And he sees quantum as a game changer beyond just AI efficiency for pharmaceuticals, financial markets, climate science, basically anywhere needing massive computation.
His ultimate vision involves AGI, artificial general intelligence.
It seems like it. He sees AI and quantum computing working together, potentially leading towards that goal.
Okay, what about Cristiano Amon at Qualcomm? Different perspective?
A bit different, yeah. More focused on the user experience. He predicts AI will overhaul how we interact with tech. Think personalized AI agents replacing apps.
Like, what kind of examples?
Things like AI handling noise cancellation seamlessly, planning your entire vacation based on preferences, personalized shopping.
Oh, interesting.
He also sees a big role in cars, AI assistance for navigation, ordering food, even augmented reality identifying things outside the car.
And he mentioned security, too. On-device AI.
Right. He advocates for processing AI tasks locally on your device whenever possible, rather than sending data to the cloud for better privacy and security.
Makes sense. And Raman Chowdhury from Humane Intelligence. Her focus was more human-centered.
Exactly. Her emphasis is on making sure AI works well for everyone, fairly and accessibly.
How do we achieve that, according to her?
She highlighted 3 main things. Getting more diverse people involved in building AI, pushing for more open source models, and creating better ways for people to actually raise concerns about AI systems.
That diversity point seems crucial for avoiding biased AI.
Absolutely. It's not just about fairness in who built it, but fairness in how it works for different populations. She also has some career advice for young people. Get experience in big companies first.
Okay, so pulling these predictions together, what's the combined outlook?
It paints a picture of AI becoming deeply integrated, boosting creativity, speeding up science, changing how we interact with everything.
With quantum computing acting as a massive accelerator.
Yeah, potentially solving the energy problem and unlocking new scientific frontiers. It's a pretty transformative vision overall.
Right. Let's move to our 4th story. This one's about the business side of AI. Lucy Guo, co-founder of Scale AI.
Ah, yes. The youngest self-made woman billionaire news.
Exactly. That's quite a headline. It seems Scale AI's valuation just jumped significantly.
It did. Reports say it hit $25 billion after a tender offer. That's up massively, like 80% from its valuation last May.
And Scale AI, just to remind folks, they do data labeling.
Yeah, essentially preparing the data that AI models need to learn from. Super critical, but often behind-the-scenes work. They started with self-driving cars, now work with the U.S. government, OpenAI, big players.
And Lucy Guo started this really young, right?
Incredibly young. She was 22, co-founded it with Alexander Wang, who was just 19 back in 2016.
But she left the company.
She did, yeah, back in 2018, apparently due to differing views on direction. But crucially, she kept her stake about 5%.
And that stake is now worth a lot.
About $1.2 billion based on the new valuation. Her total net worth is estimated a bit higher, around $1.25 billion with other assets.
Her path was pretty non-traditional, too. Thiel Fellow. Dropped out of college.
Right. Grew up in the Bay Area, coding early, dropped out of Carnegie Mellon for the Thiel Fellowship, worked at Quora where she met Wang and Snapchat before starting Scale.
And she didn't stop after Scale AI. She started other things.
Nope, kept going. Founded Backend Capital, a VC firm. Made a good early bet on Ramp.
And then Passes, that creator platform.
Yeah, launched that in 2022. Kind of like Patreon or OnlyFans. Signed up some big names like Shaq, Olivia Dunn. Raised $50 million, valued at $150 million.
That platform faced some controversy, though, didn't it?
It did, yes. There were accusations about hosting child sexual abuse material, which is obviously extremely serious.
How did they respond?
Passes banned underage creators, purged content, and strongly denied the allegations. It's definitely a shadow over that venture.
Still, becoming the youngest self-made woman billionaire,
Oh,
it's a huge milestone.
Undeniably. Especially for women in tech. It shows real strategic foresight in holding onto that Scale AI stake, plus adaptability with her other ventures. Quite the journey.
Okay, our final story today tackles a perhaps more down-to-earth question. It's from a Wired advice column. If I don't use AI, will my grandkids still think I'm cool?
Huh. I love that. It gets at that pressure some people might feel to keep up with every new tech trend, especially for family connections.
What's the article's main argument? Do you need to be an AI whiz?
Actually, no. The column argues that for family bonding, traditional communication methods are still way more effective.
Like just talking.
Pretty much. Texting, email, video calls, maybe some social media basics. Those direct connections matter most.
But AI is everywhere now. Chatbots are so popular. Doesn't that change things?
The article acknowledges AI's rise since ChatGPT launched, but also mentions concerns, like could relying too much on AI actually harm social skills?
Potential for loneliness even.
Possibly. It references an OpenAI study suggesting prolonged chatbot use might decrease feelings of social connection. Because fundamentally, chatbots aren't people.
Right. They recognize patterns they don't actually feel or understand.
Exactly. They lack genuine emotions, consciousness. It's sophisticated mimicry, not real interaction. And for just getting information, the article suggests AI often doesn't offer huge advantages over a good old-fashioned search engine yet.
So the advice for grandparents is, don't stress about mastering AI.
Pretty much. Focus on those basic digital communication tools first. The article does say experimenting with AI together could be fun, like a shared activity.
But not a requirement for being a cool grandparent.
Definitely not. And while AI voice features might help with accessibility, always double-check the information AI gives you. It can still get things wrong.
So the core message is, prioritize the human element.
Absolutely. Focus on authentic relationships. Your value as a grandparent isn't tied to your AI skills. Meaningful chats, shared experiences, that's the stuff that matters.
The call to action is basically, call your grandkids.
Essentially, yes. Call, message, visit, connect directly.
Okay, so that wraps up our 5 stories for today. We've seen big steps in AI vision.
A reality check on AI in medicine.
Bold future predictions for AI and quantum.
The rise of a new AI billionaire.
And a reminder that human connection still trumps AI for family bonds.
It really shows the breadth of AI's influence right now. The tech, the business, the social impact. It's moving fast.
It certainly is. And that leads us to our final thought for you today. As AI keeps evolving at this breakneck speed, how will you personally find that balance? How will you leverage its potential while making sure you preserve those crucial human elements, whether that's understanding the nuance and important information or simply connecting with the people who matter most in your life?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.